you. Yeah, feel like I'm at the tippy top of my game, looking down at the rafters. I had to son these boys, can't leave them bastards. A lot of dudes, just some undercover actors. I don't fall for it, I'm privy to all your tactics. Yeah, so try again, this time take a vitamin. Yeah, invite them in, welcome to the Lion's Den. And I'm Mufasa, big boss in charge of, coming in like a bull. You see me raising the stock up, yeah. So baby, you gon' need some patience. I already won, now I'm just making a statement, Damn, baby, why your mans keep hating? You asking about the cake, you here for the celebrations? And I ain't fishing, I ain't really into baiting. I know they all wish I take away they maiden, but sorry, I'm taking me and my lady mating.
Welcome to another edition of the Just Saying Podcast, brought to you by Gateway 882 Media Company. We're your hosts, co-CEOs, and founders, Fermi M. Jackson Jr. and her absent Larissa Franklin. Today's guest is our author whose storytelling is creating real conversation and turning heads. His powerful book, My Man, Your Woman, the first trilogy, dives deep into relationships, emotions, loyalty, and truth in a way that keeps readers locked in from the beginning to the end. Please help us welcome Arthur A. Rackstraw to the Just Saying Podcast. Thank you, sir. Thank you, King. Thank you, God. The Bible does say we are gods and we children of the Most High. So when I say God, I'm saying because it's in the Bible. So welcome, God. Welcome, King, to the Just Saying Podcast, brought to you by Gateway Media. We had the opportunity to meet with you probably a month or two ago, I think. Oh, because time flying by so fast. But big shout out to Mrs. Jones for connecting us. I know y'all was doing a book gathering, book signing, and things like that nature. You are author. You out there in Fort Worth, Texas. But no further ado, man, go ahead and introduce yourself. This is about you today, guys. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Let's talk about what you got going on. The mic is yours.
Hey, first and foremost, man, I appreciate you for having me on here. That was a wonderful introduction. Made it sound like I was running for Congress, but but yeah, man, I appreciate you for having me on your platform. You know, to discuss and talk about my book. And it was about 2 months ago, man, when we did talk. It's funny how the time flies, man, when you're doing everything that you're supposed to do and what God wants you to do. And it seems like it was just like a couple of weeks ago we were just talking.
Right, most definitely. And like I said, time does flies when you're having fun. But most importantly, thank you for being on here. I know you're a very productive man. You're a creative man. And like I said, we all about showcasing what's going on. And like I said, I know you got a trilogy that you birthed. It manifested. It came to fruition. I know you out promoting that. And it's about to get a drop.
Damn it. That's my fault, man. My internet shut down or something happened. I don't know what happened.
Nah, but it's all good. Like I said, we about to grade it still. We still finna chop it up, of course.
Yeah.
Like I said, you have a trilogy that's about to drop this summer. I know you've been promoting heavy. It came into fruition. It manifests itself. So go ahead and talk about that, and we're finna get off into some Q&A.
Yeah, so this is book 1 of a trilogy. Book 2 will be out in July. Book 3 will be out right before Christmas. The book is about a transgender living a triple life. He's a married man with a kid. He has a boyfriend and he works for a madam. The book it's a lot of twists and turns in the book. You know, the first of it is pretty much, you know, the introduction of a lot of things. You're gonna hear some names in there where the introduction itself where you're gonna ask questions and you're gonna be like, who is this and who is that? And it's not gonna come in until until the second book itself. With everything that's going on in the twists and turns, I can, it's one that is, a lot of people ask me, is this true? It could be a true story once you read it, because a lot of it is happening here, so yeah, that's basically what it's about. But book 2 is going to really, really tell the tale of everything.
Oh man, that's what's up, and I'm looking forward to as you go in, in depth with the book and what the book's all about. Before we go any further, big shout out to Joseph. He said hi, and he said, "Can he be a moderator?" Go ahead, Joseph. You want to be a moderator? You're more welcome to. So I appreciate your assistance, sir.
Yeah.
So big shout out to Joseph. He said hi in the comments. Say, well, when I was the people that's always tuning in with us, of course. Well, like I said, God, man, I love men that's doing great things. We need to see more of that in our community, in our city, in our culture. We need to see more men stepping up to the plate, men getting their rightful place, men leading by example. First of all, we're made in the image of the Most High God, right? The Bible lets us know that we're made in His image after His likeness, and He gave us dominion, and He gave us gifts, He gave us talents to glorify Him in the earth, and we should have heaven here on earth. We don't have to wait to go to heaven to experience it. He tended for us to have that right now. That's why the prayer always said, "Let Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven." So I agree, Rex, what the scripture says when it says that we should have that, right? We should enjoy life. He said, "I came that you might have life and have life more abundantly," and we should live that abundant life. Only reason why we're not living that abundant life because we hold our own selves up for that. What do you say about that?
Yeah, we hold ourselves back from a lot of things and a lot of our blessings, right? Um, one of my things I'm not holding myself back from anymore is speaking, because I speak a lot on mental health, and I talk to the youth. I talk to grown men about the mental health in our community. There was a time where I used to hold myself back, right? Where I didn't hold myself accountable of what God had for me. We ignore a lot of the signs, a lot of the visions that God give us. We ignore 'em. We talk ourselves out of a lot of things too, man. So I think you're absolutely right, man. We're on our own worst enemy, us as people. So yeah, we have to start listening. I'm gonna say this real quick, and I'm gonna let you go ahead. It was I believe my daughter Kiana, she was probably 5 or 6 years old, and I was talking, and I was trying to explain to her mother that there was some things going on, and I'm trying to be the man that God wants me to be, this, that, and the other. And my daughter Kiana, she, without her even knowing, she said, "Daddy, you have to listen first." And that set with me, and that resonated with me even to this day, because I listen now.
It makes sense because it ties in to what the word says: be quick to hear and slow to speak. I remember it was a man of God back in my hometown of Mobile, that's where I'm from. And he said he always used to tell me, "You gain
Hmm.
more by listening." And we do. We so quick to talk, but we're not so quick to listen. And I realized
Absolutely.
more by listening. So, man, big shout out to your daughter for sharing that and stuff like that. But we're gonna get off into the question. My first question, you mentioned the book, and
Mhm.
my question is: three hearts, two betrayals, one burial. What made you go that? What made you go that deep with this story?
Well, the three hearts, two betrayals, one buried truth. Uh, that came at a roundabout way. Shout out to Dr. Angela Palmer. She kind of helped me with that. And when she came out with that, we talked about it, right? She's like, "Okay, well, that's three things involved. Okay, you got two things involved, and here's the one. So, let's do this." I was talking to her, about my book and everything like that. So she kind of helped me with that. It resonates with what the book is, because I've talked to a lot of people about my book. So I gotta give a shout out to her.
Okay, awesome, 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 and a big shout out to her as well. And my next question is for you too: is this book inspired by real life pain, or is it your imagination just that dangerous?
Man, my imagination is just that dangerous. Anytime you walk in the light where God wants you to walk, you're a very dangerous person. And I mean dangerous in a godly way, right? So yeah, it's just my imagination. the book came about. It took me. It kept coming to my head, and I didn't know why it was coming to my head. And it kept coming to me at night. It took me probably a month. And then when the title came to my head, I started writing it down and everything like that. When I started writing it down, I took one of those legal pads, those big legal pads. Mm-hmm. But when I started writing it, by the time I quit, the first time I started writing it, I was already like 45 or 50 pages into the legal pad.
So I know I mentioned, and I read this too. They said Michael Jackson used to wake up at 3 a.m. in the morning. He had these creative ideas, and he made a comment: if he didn't do it, God gonna give it to Prince. So that makes a lot of sense. In your opinion, why is it so important that it's like that creativity hits us early in the morning? I guess because it's quiet, everybody's asleep, and that's when I guess you're not so easily distracted during the day because so much going on. I guess just that early morning when everybody's asleep when the creativity hits.
Well, they say that's when your brain works the most is at night because your body's supposed to be regenerating, right? So they say when you're supposed to be in that dreamscape, that soul realm. They call the Indians call it the spirit world. So I mean, I can agree with that, man, because everything I've done, all the ideas and the thoughts and everything, they come around 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm up till 5 or 6, just writing stuff down. I'm working on another book called Chapter 13. It's going to be 13 books. Each book is going to be a chapter, and the 13th book is going to bring all 12 of them together. So
okay, man. Oh man, awesome stuff. And let me ask you: when did you knew this is what you want to do? Was you always a creative writer growing up? Is somebody introduced it to you? How did that all come about?
Well, I was always a writer by trade. I guess I should say it goes to high school because I was always one to, when you have to do the English, in English, you have to stand up in front of the class and write and everything. I wasn't the best, before high school, but I made it a point to be the best. I wasn't the best reader, but I made it a point to be one of the best. And when I would write something or essay or something like that and stand up in front of class and read it, I would have people clapping. Oh, that was good. That was good. He should get an A, this, that, and the other. So I've always been a writer by trade. I've done music and everything like that. This one right here, it just happened to come on me, man. God, it just blessed me with this, with the imagination of this one, man. So I can't take credit for the writing. I can just only stay in his grace and be blessed because he blessed me with this.
Yeah, I like that. That's what's up right there. So my next question for you is, what's something in this book that people will feel personally attacked by? What's something in this book that people will feel personally attacked by?
If you, you are asking me, I don't say if you're asking me, but betrayal, because betrayal is worse than death. Death, you can't, you says death, you can't come back from it. Betrayal is something you got to live with. And, betrayal is one of those things that to some people, it is worse than death. But betraying a person, man, the trust, the love, the, disrespect, however you want to view it, man, betrayal is something that people will definitely feel in this book.
Yeah, most definitely. Cause I got to give a big shout out to Larissa. She's big on that. She's big on loyalty, and she's big on trust. And that's something she always hold me accountable to. Cause I respect that for real. Cause that plays a major role, and it tells a lot about your character. So yeah, that's what's up. And also a big shout out to Larissa, and get well as well also, cause she's under the weather. So my next question, we're gonna get off into some love, betrayal, and real talk. Mm-hmm. Why do you think betrayal hits harder in relationships than anything else?
Well, because you put so much into a person. You put so much into the body of work that comes into a relationship. Because I tell people, relationship is work. You have to work for it, and you put so much into it, and you believe that you're going to be with this person for a long time, right?
Right.
And so when you believe that you're going to be there and you're putting everything into a person, and then they betray you, that's just the hardest thing, in life. It's like you're a parent and you're betraying your kid. So that kid now is looking at you like, I don't trust you anymore. I don't want to be around you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
could. Go ahead. My bad.
no, I apologize. Go ahead.
No, but like I you was saying that play that really means something because I was reading the book of Talamu. It talks about how words can destroy a temple, can build a temple, and
Oh yeah.
destroy a temple. And the temple
Hmm.
is not a body. The temple is not a building. The temple is us. And
Yeah.
what we say can either destroy a person or build a person. And then when I say when it comes to relationships, we so easily say stuff, but do we actually mean it? Because a lot of times, and we've all been there before, God, that we can make decisions out of our emotion and not our logic. And
Hmm.
it takes me back to the scripture when Christ says, "Have you sit down and consider the cost?" Because you got
Yeah.
people that are so quick to go build, but they haven't sit down and consider the cost. But like in other words, before you make this decision, you need to sit down and think about it first. And we don't do that. Then we do. We get it. We fall short. We get embarrassed because we never said anything through. Until reality set in, it's like, damn, why did not think about that? And just like when it comes to marriages, when it comes to relationships, we don't think these things through. And that's what I've learned now, that it's all about my logic and not my emotions, especially when it comes to having that woman in your life. When it comes to make sure to have the right woman. I'm saying we made bad decisions, we made poor choices, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
as we learn and grow better, we do better. It's like I learned now, Rackstraw, it's about character. I learned about character. I want we going here today for, but
Yeah.
I'm learning it's about the woman's character more than how she look. Oh, because look at her body, look how she look. But that's physical. I just need to know how she is spiritually, mentally, and things like that. It's like the mindset. Like it's your character that drives it. I heard a song today. Well, I heard a song a while back. The artist said in the song, "It's not your body that makes you sexy. It's your mind
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
makes you sexy." So I'm learning that now. I want to be attracted to her mind. It's like the mind makes you stand out compared to your physical beauty. I just want to throw that out there to the
Absolutely.
audience.
Absolutely, man. To me, man, character integrity goes a long way. I only say two things, man: honesty and loyalty. If I got both of those, it's a lot of things in between. But if I got both of those, everything else can be worked out.
Yeah, most definitely. Because some things you can't bounce back from.
Yeah.
Stuff like that you can't bounce back from. Because once you burn that bridge, that's over with. I remember R. Kelly had that song years ago when a woman's fed up. She, when she fed, I mean that it made sense. When she fed up, that's it. That's the thing with a woman. And some guys take them for granted. I don't know why we talking about that. I guess I need to hear this. But once that woman mentally check out. Once that woman check out mentally, it's over with. She may be there physically, but mentally she's gone. And once she's mentally checked out, it's over with. So we gotta. I don't want. I guess I need to hear that. But we need to
Yeah.
go finish on
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
though.
Go
All
ahead,
right,
man. Go ahead.
all right. So my next question for you is, God, is cheating ever justified, or is it always a character flaw? Is cheating ever justified, or is it always a character flaw?
Okay, since we're talking about relationships, because I would think that's a character flaw. I think it's never justified, but I think a lot of people cheat because they're comfortable with the person that they're with, and they don't
Mm-hmm.
want they may not. Your relationship may already be gone, right?
Right.
Mentally you've already checked out. Emotionally you've already checked out, and they've checked out. The other person has checked out too, but I believe that they don't. You don't separate or don't leave that person because you're comfortable with that person and you don't want to destroy whatever you built with that person. But man, look here, a peace of mind is everything. You
It
know,
is.
so people shouldn't stay just because they're comfortable, because you'll never ever be happy. But
Right.
yeah, character flaws. It is, yes.
Right. Okay. I like that. I like that. And then I got another question for you. In your opinion, do people fall out of love or into temptation?
Ooh, that's a good one, man. Um, I would say both. I would say both because you have to fall out of love in order to be tempted. You can love a person, but not be in love with a person. You can love a person and not even like that person. There's a lot of people I love, but I don't like, right? So yeah, I would say both because temptation only comes after you fall out of love. And when you fall out of love, that means you mentally and emotionally are checked out already.
Right. You know, that question brought me back to something that happened to me years ago. And I was in love. I would say I could say a true love of mine. And I asked her to marry me. I think when I asked her to marry me, I had to be like either 20 or 21. I know I was in my early 20s. And
Mm-hmm.
I asked the girl to marry me. And we was together for 5 years. And she told me, she said, Maurice is my middle name. So she always called me Maurice. That's my middle name.
That's funny.
So she said, I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that hurt me. That really, I'm just being honest
Yeah,
with you. I'm just
yeah,
being honest.
yeah.
That hurt me
Mm-hmm.
because when you love someone I'm being honest with you. If it didn't happen, if we was on that same path, I would still be with her today. I'll be married to her to this day if we was on that path. But it didn't happen, of course.
Right.
But that does something to a person when you give your all, but then a person tell you they love you, but they're not in love with you. That really does something to a person, and that really did something to me, and
Yeah.
it really. So yeah, I mean, what
Yeah, but
what? Go ahead.
no, you go ahead. Go ahead. You go ahead. What's you gonna say?
Yeah, but I said that right there. Yeah, that's a tough. That was tough for me at the time because I was planning on spending the rest of my life with her, but it didn't work out that way.
And everything hurts when you're in love.
Yeah, so it happened. I know, right?
Everything hurts when you're in love.
Right, it does. But you know what I'm saying? But it happened. It happened. So my next question is,
Mhm.
what's the biggest mistake men make in a relationship that leads to situations like this? Like what biggest mistake men make that
Forgetting
lead
about. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Forgetting about themselves. Too often, us as men, this is what we do. We have a family. We have a young lady. Even if you don't have a family, you just have a woman in your life, and we push and push and push to try to make them happy. So what happens is unconsciously we're making them happy. We're forgetting about ourselves. So unconsciously, we're in a state of depression. You see what I'm saying? Because we don't know what's making we now, we go out with the fellas or whatever. We like, yeah, it's okay, but that's not me. Or you win the fellas and everybody's busy because everybody's gotten busy, right? And then you want to do something and you're sitting at home, you don't know what to do because you don't know what's making you happy. So I think that's the biggest mistake that men are making today. And that's one of the reasons because I'm an advocate for mental health. Okay. I speak on mental health. So that's one of the biggest reasons why men are how they are. We were brought up by some good people, and I'm pretty sure every man was, but we were brought up wrong. We were brought up not to show emotions, not to tell people how you feel, this, that, and the other. But once we get older, those same people will tell you, hey, man, you can't hold that in. You got to cry. You got to do this. You got to talk to somebody or else, you get high blood pressure. You have a stroke or something like that, right? So that's the biggest mistake that men make. We forget about ourselves and we concentrate on everybody else but us.
Yeah, you're right. And that played a role, and that's something that we, like I said, we'll put everybody else before us, God, before we put ourselves first.
Right.
We was taught that we were taught being selfish and being a narcissist and all that stuff, but we get lost in the sauce. We forget about ourselves. We forget about our identity, of course. You know, if you go back in the beginning when God created Adam, he gave Adam purpose in the garden. He didn't give him a wife first. He gave him purpose. And that's we could God do everything decent in order, right? So
Mhm.
he gave him purpose. He didn't give him a woman. He gave him purpose. And once we line up with our purpose, that's when he presented Eve to come along with Adam when he said it's not good for a man to be alone. Because think about it, Adam was so busy operating in his purpose, he didn't think he was alone. It was God that said it was not good for a man to be alone. Because then at the time, you had the animals, you had the male animals, female animals coming together, mating and producing, and of course, Adam by itself. And God said it was not good for a man to be alone. Then he said, I'll make him a help me. So when he brought along to help me with Eve, to help along with the vision and the purpose that God's given Adam. And I believe now that men are finding their place now when it comes to their purpose. Because I believe
Mhm.
once we line up with our purpose, with alignment, everything else will fall right into place once we find out what our purpose is. What you say about that, God?
Well, that comes with you being in tune and getting to know the person that used to be you, right?
Right.
Getting in tune with yourself because it used to be a point in time where I couldn't sit without music on or the TV on because my thoughts were too loud for me. And that's what a lot of men or a lot of people, but we're talking about men. That's where a lot of men have a problem because their thoughts are too loud for them. So what we have to do is get back in tune with ourselves, to get to know ourselves and get ourselves right. Every morning I wake up, I speak positivity into my life. Every
That's right.
day, at least 3 or 4 times a day, I speak positivity into my life. There's a and then it has to do with the circle that you're involved with. You know, if you don't have people around you that won't hold you accountable, number one, won't, in other words, won't call you out when you're doing something wrong, won't celebrate you when you're doing something right. You know, that's my circle. I hang around guys like that. I hang around guys that's going to tell me, hey, man, dude, you messing up. What's your problem? You know what I'm saying? I may not want to hear it at the time, but I know it's good for me. And I have to swallow my pride, and my ego has to be outside in order for me to accept this from another man, because us men, we lost our way to nurture people, to nurture
Mm,
each other, to nurture each other. And you're a loyal person, but you're around people that are disloyal to you. So I reward loyalty with loyalty. I reward disloyalty with distance. You have to be around people that are like-minded, just like you. You don't have to be, now if you want to be a millionaire, you don't really necessarily have to be be around millionaires, but you have to be around people that want more, that want to elevate themselves. And I think that's what we need to do.
yeah, most definitely, I agree with that because the scripture does tell us if we be company around wise people, we become wise. If you become a couple with fools, you shall be destroyed. So, like you said, it's always it realize of what you're saying. It's like the type of company that you keep around you. I'm at the point now in my life. I want to be around conversation that's uplifting. I want to be around
Mhm.
conversation that's positive. I want to be around conversation that accountability, iron sharpen iron. Because where you're going in life is what makes you want to excel and grow, right? And fly with the eagles and not with the buzzers. We with the buzzers too long. Now we gotta start flying with the eagles, especially when you're
Mhm.
on your purpose and you're on your journey and when you're on your legacy. Nothing else don't really matter. So I like that question. Also, big shout out to Miss Flowers in the comment section. Say hello. Thank you for tuning in. Also, thank you for tuning in last night as well on the Walking This Ways platform. Big shout out to everybody that's tuning in as well here on the Just Saying Podcast from Gateway 882. Like I said, I'm holding it down for Larissa. She's under the weather, so holding it down. Hope she's watching as well. So that's what's up. So my next question for you as well, and let's flip it. What do women often overlook that cause emotional breakdowns? I want if it's some women in the comment sections, I want to hear from the women, and then I want to ask this: what do women often overlook that cause emotional breakdowns? I want to ask the ladies. If you're in the comment section, ladies, we want to hear from y'all.
I think they
But
overlooked the men. Oh, I'm sorry.
go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
Okay, no, you go ahead. Go ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
Oh, I think they overlook the man in general. Because too often when a man is emotionally intelligent, he tries to express his emotion to women, some women, a lot of women, they overlook it. Oh man, you over here complaining. Oh, you over here crying. You over here. They don't look at men as a vessel themselves. They don't look at men as emotional themselves. That's another part of that mental health that we have going on, because when we want to speak and we talk to these women, they're like, oh, you just making excuses. You just doing that, you just doing it. And that's just how society has deemed men, because we're supposed to be the protectors, the providers, and everything else. We're not supposed to have any problems, right? But we do. And men, just like women want to feel wanted and needed, us men want to feel wanted and needed too. Let's put it on out there. A lot of men ain't gonna say that, but I don't care. I'm gonna say it because that's what it is.
Yeah. Man, and that's what it is. Also, I'm on Instagram as well. Big shout out to I'm gonna say Miss Brain on the comment section on Instagram. She said deep stuff, honesty, and loyalty. So thank everybody that's tuning in, timing in on Instagram as well. Thank y'all for the audience that's live streaming right now. So I always want to acknowledge everybody that's watching us. And I know you mentioned the part about providing and things like that.
Mhm.
What if we had not been taught that? Because we heard it, but we never really taught that. It's like if you look at it now, some of the guys don't even know how to provide for themselves, let alone provide for someone else. If we're not taking care of ourselves, it's impossible to take care of anyone else. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. It all makes sense. It's just like if a woman hasn't been raised by a wife, she doesn't know how to be a wife. You know,
Mm,
a lot of it comes with trial and error, man. It's like cooking. You might burn you might burn up some cabbage one time, you might burn it up twice, but the odds are the third time you're gonna get it right. And it sounds bad to say, you got to go through this person to find your person, right? But
mhm,
that's the reality of the situation. If everybody was perfect for everybody, nobody would have any hurt, nobody would have any pain. We wouldn't be human, right? So being you don't know how to be a good father unless you practice on being a good father. You don't know how to be a good husband unless you practice on being a good husband. And what I mean by practice, I'm not mean you go out here and you have all these kids and this, or you marry all this, that, and the other. But what you do is you look at people, you read, you understand, you ask people who already have kids, hey man, I got a son, how did you maneuver this? Because you already have a son and your son is already an adult. And I'm gonna tell you something. The other day I was talking to my son Alton, and he told me, he said, Dad, I didn't understand what you were doing then. He said, but I understand it now. He said, I was young and I thought that I was supposed to do this and I thought I was supposed to do that. And he said, I understand, Dad, that you did the best you could because how you were raised, because it was a lot, he heard a lot of stories about me. And I told him two things that I did. I said I may not have been the best father, and I'm not gonna be the best, right? I'm just gonna be the father. I may not have been the best, but I taught you right from wrong. He said, yes, you did. He said, and I told him, I said, what I grew up with, what I've been through, I tried my best to protect y'all from going through it. And that's what we as parents try to do. Keep our kids from going through some things or that we went through, and give them things that we never had. Now, after that, the older you get, your life is yours. But as far as that, I totally agree that we are the product of how we grew up, but we can also get up out of that too. And it starts with the mind. It starts with you trying to develop yourself. You wanting to change. It has to do with you. It doesn't have to do with the way you were brought up. So a lot of people talk about generational curses, right?
right.
You only, and to me, the only way a generational curse lasts is if you let it keep going. If you don't let it keep going, if you want something different, you got to do some different things.
Mm. Yeah, I agree with that 1000%. Before going to further, I got a question. Well, I guess a statement on
Hmm.
the Instagram side. Big shout out to Miss Nadia. I want to put your name, but she said,
Nadia.
"Y'all,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah." She said, "Y'all think providing and paying a bill is all a woman needs, and that's inaccurate. Some people got that mindset when they hear providing, they think it's materialistic, monetary gain, and stuff like that. But
True.
providing is spiritually, it's
Hmm.
mentally, it's
Yep.
emotionally, logic. I believe in the whole because we so programmed thinking when they hear provide, we think that's just based on materialistic things, right? Paying the bills and stuff like that. But I know it's more to just that, but it's providing with mentally, emotionally,
Hmm.
spiritually,
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Absolutely. I absolutely agree with that. A lot of people, should say y'all. So let me take that out of that. It ain't y'all. It is a lot of people though. It is a lot of people that look at that. They look at the monetary value. They don't look at everything else. They look at it as materialistic and all this. Oh man, as long as I bought her this car, I just bought her this car, man, she should be good. Nah, but she really ain't good because you ain't paying no attention to her. So yeah, and I agree with what Nadia said, but I disagree with everyone. So um, it does. You do have to show up in every way possible that you can.
Yeah, that's it. And also big shout out to Miss Flowers 947. She said one has to be equally yoked with their partner in order for it to work. Also look for good qualities in a potential partner instead of our aspect. I do agree with that because we were talking about that earlier. It's all about the character, not about the
Yeah,
outer appearance.
yeah, yeah.
We been programmed to think like that, but it's all about the character, like I mentioned earlier. In the song that I listened to, the guy said, "Well, your mind makes you sexy." It's
Yeah.
all about the mindset. It's not about the physical, because it's a lot of physically attractive women, but
Mhm.
their character makes them ugly. You got some women
Yes,
you
absolutely.
got some women who may not be plastered all on social media, but her mindset makes her stand out compared to the physical, you want to say beautiful woman. So men look for character in a woman, especially when it comes to legacy, when it
Hmm.
comes to marriage, when it comes
Hmm.
to the mother of his children. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? Because
right.
we're learning now as men to respect our name. The Bible says a good name is better than riches, and we have to learn how
Oh,
to
yeah.
honor our name. So when we
Hmm.
learn to honor our name, master our name with the character, we look for those characteristics that matches the alignment and matches the vision. And I like that. The Bible does say nobody do not be unequally yoked, but we should be equally long we on that same wavelength. Because I believe in being successfully married. I believe when two people is on one accord, man, y'all can make some things happen.
Right,
But when
right.
it's not on one accord, it's World War
Yeah,
III. And
right.
I refuse, yeah, I refuse to live in World War III at home because I'm not, and I think that's stupid in a way that you can't even go to your own house. That's crazy to me.
Yeah, yeah. You have to have order, man, or else you have chaos.
Yeah, I don't operate in chaos.
Yeah,
Some people like to live in chaos. I don't operate in chaos. They use that word toxic. Hell
yeah,
no.
yeah.
Y'all can have
I
that. You can have that, man. I love peace. If I have to be by myself, I would be by myself. Long I got peace, I'm good.
And that's
I'm
what it's all about.
gravy.
That's what
Right.
it's all about, man. Not letting anybody interrupt that peace.
That's it.
Once you become one with yourself, this is the problem though with that. Once you become one with yourself and you want your peace, once you start choosing yourself, you're going to lose a lot of the wrong people for a lot of the right reasons. And then that's when the people are going to come out and say, "Oh man, you changed. You this, you that." But nah, man, I'm not this or not that. I just choose not to deal with this stuff anymore, man. That's not me anymore. It probably never was me. I just did it because I was trying to satisfy y'all. So yeah.
Mm. Yeah, it's all about being honest, right? So
Hmm.
about to get into something else, mindset and psychology.
Okay.
What mindset, and I know the book, it talks about betrayal, it talks about trust and things like that. So
Hmm.
what mindset does someone have to be in to live a double life? What mindset, yeah, does someone
Ah,
have to be?
man, that's a great question. Um, They would have to be, in my opinion, to live a double life. You would have to be in the mindset of a place. You have to be in a place where the rules don't apply to you. They apply to everybody else, but they don't apply to you. I think to live a double life, man. And this never occurred to me, when I was writing this book. It just came through. To live a double life, you would have to have everybody show up for you and you not show up for them. You will live vicariously through a lot of different people. You judge your life on what somebody else is doing. What I mean by judging your life is like, man, look at that house, man. I wish I had that. Man, look at that car. I wish I had that. So vicariously, you're really, really uh judging your life on somebody else's. You never know what's on the inside. You're just looking at the outside. So I think the mindset itself has to be the rules apply to everybody but you.
Yeah, yeah, it does. And we know we see that happens every day. And I know you mentioned loyalty earlier, and that's my next
Mhm.
question lead up to that. Do you believe people are naturally loyal, or does loyalty come from discipline?
Both. Because I've been in an aspect where I've always been loyal. But people were never loyal to me, right?
Mm,
And I was always brought up, you got a friend, you be that friend. Don't worry about them being a friend to you. You be a friend to them. That's the way I was always brought up. But the discipline now in me is, and the discernment that in me is, I can tell that you full of crap, right?
right.
I can tell that you ain't cool. And again, like I said, when I see the disloyal, I choose it with distance, and I just get away from you. I just get away from you. It was a time where I'd be ready to fight, but now, I'm too old for that, man. But and too much going on. But I think it comes with the discipline and the maturity and everything like that, as far as what you're gonna take on, what you're willing to sacrifice. You know, and if you don't want to sacrifice your way of doing things, or a different way of looking at things, if you can't talk to this person or talk to that person, or if they just keep doing something that is negatively impacting you, you know, then that's your choice to get out of that situation, to get away from that person. I have a saying that I trust everybody. It's just the devil inside them I don't trust.
Mm. And that's deep. That is deep. Before going the further, I'm on the Instagram side. Big shout out to Brand. It says being able to listen and communicate as well as making the person feel seen and heard creates a good bond. Thank you
Oh
for your
yeah.
comments. And also, she mentioned living a double life is a mental disorder, and the person is bipolar among other things. What you say about that, God?
Uh, Mental disorder, I agree. Bipolar, yeah, I can see that in some ways. I can see that in some ways. I agree. I can agree with that.
Okay. I got another question for you as well. What's more dangerous? Secrets or silence in a relationship?
Ooh. Great one. Secrets or silence? I guess I would say silence. Um, Sometimes when you don't say anything, when people are not talking, they're thinking. 90% of the time, they're thinking. And they could be thinking on the way out. They could be thinking on something more detrimental. You know what I'm saying? Having a secret, depending on the secret, okay? Now, depending on the secret, it could be more deadly, but silence. Silence sometimes is golden. They say that, less words is more sometimes. Silence sometimes is golden. But while you're in a relationship and you're silent, you never know what this person has going through their head. You never know what's getting ready to set them off. You know what I'm saying? I would rather for you to hold a secret than to be silent. Because at least you're talking to me, and if you're talking to me with conviction, if you're talking to me and letting me know way you feel, you might have went out there and cheated, but you're telling me how you feel and how I'm not doing something right.
Right.
So, and maybe you've cheated, and I can bring you out of that if I don't know it, you know.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, that's
Okay. Awesome. 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 Then we better get off there some author's journey and creative process. As a single father
okay.
and author, how did your real life experience shape this story?
I don't have a real life experience with this story. I guess if I could look in it and think about, I've been lied to, I've been betrayed, right? I've had my heart broken. So I guess those those experiences, I've had secrets. Okay.
Hmm.
Um, I've had secrets held away from me. I've been through the silent part, the silent treatment, hey, don't touch me and all this, that, and the other. I've been through all that. So I guess in that aspect of the hurt and the pain and the buried truth, right? Because I've you know I I've been through the buried truth. Where to a point where I was in a dark place. So I think that's the way the book in those aspects, that's the way it's kind of
Yeah.
went through my life.
Gotcha, gotcha. I got you on that. I appreciate that. Appreciate the answer as well. So my next question for you as well. Who do you think people will blame the most in this story? The man, the woman, or both?
both both because men and women in this book do some crazy stuff. They do some crazy stuff, and you'll find out in this book right here. You'll find out in this book that men and women are to blame.
Okay. Okay. Like that. And I know you big on loyalty. And there's another
Mhm.
loyalty question coming up. Is loyalty is loyalty rare today, or are people just choosing wrong partners?
Both both loyalty is rare. Loyalty has been rare since forever. I had a guy. He was my best. I thought he was my best friend. I used to call him my brother, and he did some things. Was going behind my back and talking about me to people that separate people we hang around, and I'm getting all these things. The same people I was taking up for him in front of, when they talk about him behind his back, he was tearing me down behind my back to the same people. And they were like, man, you need to stop doing this, man. This dude doing this dude doing that, dude doing that. And I remember I got so mad one day. I'm like, dude, he said that. It was three different people that don't know each other told me the same story on three separate occasions. And I remember I got so mad. I was like, man, you know what? If this is the case, a fight gonna come with it when I see him. But through the grace of God, that it gave me the time not to see him. So because I prayed on it and prayed on it. I'm a praying man. Um, but I prayed and prayed on it. Gave me that time not to see him. So when I did see him, it was an awkward time, but it was like, it is what it is. So, but now, as far as what's going on, man, people people will run over you if you let them.
You're right.
Okay,
I agree. I agree.
they'll run over you if you let them. I think we need to be more mindful and more conscientious of who we are around, who we let in our circle. Even if it's business, even if it's business. And, I was talking to a young brother the other day, and we're working on this show that we have in August, and he was telling me about a person that messed him over in business, and I told him, I say, dude, I'll work with you. I won't work with him because if he mess you over, he'll mess me over. You know, so and that's that loyalty factor. And the guy was like, man, my wife keep telling me about him, about him. I told him, I said, man, listen to your wife.
Yeah,
Don't listen,
right,
listen to your wife, man. She's telling you right. So
right.
yeah, yeah, man.
Is it
And how? Go ahead.
now about to say everything that look good ain't good? If somebody bring up somebody and they hit them with that, but yeah, they good, but that's what you need to watch out for.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
you need to watch out for. I agree with that. And hey, I think as I was sitting here, let's talking to you on this platform, what we talking about, and I just had dropped in my spirit the word pathetic. This is a pathetic uh message that's going on today's platform. That word
Mhm.
pathetic really just dropped to me. So what's going on? Somebody really need to hear this, maybe for all of us. With
Right.
the transition that we're making in this, I don't want to say season, but that word pathetic just dropped to me. I just want to throw that
Mhm.
out there. I think this is a yeah, this is very pathetic. It's very pathetic. I
Yeah.
want to say that. So my next question is for you: what lessons do you want readers to walk away with after finishing this book?
This book is the author has a great imagination. The author is willing to go to certain limits to get you to understand because I write unapologetically. Okay. Um, I have, I don't. We all have our own opinions about things, music, books, clothing, etc. Right? You
Right.
know, if you don't like my book, don't read it. That's just the bottom line. You know, I hope you would like it, but what I would want them to get out of it is that, I go to great lengths to entertain, to write unapologetically, and to be, even though it's fiction, to be as truthful as I can be in the fiction books to make it seem like it's real.
Makes sense. It really does make sense. I know because that kind of stuff people deal with every day, and we know these
Hmm.
everyday things. So basically, you write stuff that's based on everyday reality, basically so much.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff that people experience, you just putting out there to the forefront that people that whoever read it say, "Oh man, I've been there before. I can relate to that." I'm thankful that you bringing this up because these are conversations, God, that people are uncomfortable to have, and
Mhm.
that judgmental mindset and stuff like that. But that's good that you're pushing. I'm gonna say pushing the narrative that hey, I'm glad you put this out there because this stuff that's going on right now. Matter of fact, we go on this platform. The stuff that you write about is going on right now. Some form of fashion in someone's neighborhood. It's going on right now as we speak, but it is real life. So basically, you basically tell stuff that's happening in reality.
Yeah, and I was asked, how did I come about it? Do I know any? Is this book about somebody I know, or something like that? And it's not. It's not at all. It has nothing to do with my life. Has nothing to do with anyone else's life because I don't know anyone in the Rainbow Coalition. I got to call it that instead of the letters. I don't know anyone in the Rainbow Coalition that's like this. I don't. I know gays and lesbians and bisexuals and all that, right? But I don't know anyone that's doing this at all.
Right. Right. Yeah, it
I'm pretty
is.
sure
My
somebody
next
is though.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, this stuff is happening every day. Every day, something's happening right now. My next question for
Mhm.
you as well: how can broken trust ever truly be repaired, or is it buried forever?
Yeah, I don't think it can. I don't think it can. Once I think trust is one of those things is once you break it, you break it. Trust is like being in a relationship and letting the flame go out. A young lady asked me a few months ago, "What do you do when the flame goes out?" And my answer to her was, "You don't let it, because once it's gone, it's gone. You might get a spark, you know, but the flame will never ever be there again." So I think once you get that betrayal, especially when you're a loyal person, right? But once somebody betray you when you're a loyal person, I think you'll never ever be able to come back from that.
Mhm. Yeah, yeah, it really is. I mean, it's tough. It's tough because you invest so much and you invest all
Mhm.
into a particular person, and when they do something to you, yeah, it does destroy you. Because I remember years ago at the men's conference, TD Jakes talked about that, and he was talking about when a man opens up to a woman when they first become intimate for the very first time, and that's when he opened up to her. But out of anger, she could throw up stuff back in his face, and when
Yeah,
she does that, he shuts down completely. Like, I don't trust you no more, and we
right.
have to be very careful.
Yeah. Once you cross that line, if I tell you something in complete secrecy, if we're having a talk and then we get into an argument and you throw that up in my face, I tell you something in secrecy and this how you do me. Yeah, and that's a lot of men do that, man. It's only two ways a relationship happens. You either grow together or you grow apart. That's all I say
Yeah,
about it. You may come back at the end and y'all may reconcile at the end and talk and all that, but it will never be like it was because that trust has already been broken. So, that's just what it is, man. You can't use something against somebody tell you in confidence and confiding in you and then use it against them because you want to feel better about winning the argument, right? So,
right. Yeah, right. Most definitely. Because even Abraham and Lot had to go their separate ways.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
a lot of times you got to go your separate ways. Hey, this not working out. It's just like on the job. You working on somebody's job. They give you probation period, right? They give you a probation period, however long that probation period is. They see how you work after this. They see this and that, and they'll give you what? They'll sit you down 3 times, whatever. They'll talk to you the first time, and they'll write you up the second time and third time. All depends. They have to let you go. Why? Because like, hey, we talked about this. We talked about this. We can't have the same conversation. So we just need to go ahead and let you go and go our separate ways.
and it makes it hard on you too, man, because it depends on who it is. Because if it's your homeboy and he do something that's so foul, I mean, even with women, if it's your homegirl and they do something so foul, and you brought up the Bible, I mean, Cain did what he did to Abel. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
sometimes, I mean, I tell people all the time, man, you never know what's going to set a person off.
Yeah. Yeah. It's realized. So you got to be very mindful, right? So my next question for you as well. If you could say one thing to someone currently in a toxic relationship, what would it be?
Get out, get out. That's the bottom line. If you are in a toxic relationship, get out before you or that other person gets hurt.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And once again, go your separate ways. Some
Yeah.
people just ain't meant to be together. So we just can't jail together. We can't roll together. It's best to go our separate ways. And that what ties a lot of people into as well. They be tied in whether it's emotional or financially. I'm only with this
Yeah.
person financially for security or emotional because I don't want to be by myself.
hmm My mother told me, man. She told me years ago. Everybody that's together or married, they're not meant to stay that way. So and shout out to mom, hey mom. But
Hmm.
she told me that and that resonated with me, it set with me, because I understand that just because I want to be with you or you want to be with me, don't mean we're supposed to meant don't mean we're meant to be together for 40 years, 50 years, because my path is my path and your path is your path. Our paths may not even be aligned right. You know, I may be on the right side of the street and you across the street. So we're going two different ways.
I'm and that's why I learned too. And I know we base stuff off emotions. And I could be wrong.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
wrong. Correct me. I'm all about learning, growing. How we be so connected to we base off emotion and not logic. When it comes
Mhm.
to marriage, people first thing they hear about marriage is love. We were sold this fairy tale
Yeah,
about
absolutely.
marriage.
Hmm.
And we have to look at marriage. And I'm learning now that marriage is a business. And I had a conversation with somebody with this a while back, and it was like, you don't believe in romance. Romance is there, but that's not the end all, the be all. It's not
Hmm.
romance, romance, romance. It's reality. I chose you because we have a purpose, and I'm just saying stuff out there. But we've been so taught on fairy tales and not based off reality. Just like when people had these big weddings, you do what you want to do. Like people had these big, massive weddings, they want to give show off for people. Then after when reality said it, y'all can't stand each other because we go into this thing with romance, emotion. She looks good, he looks good. But what happened when reality sets in?
Yeah. Yeah. What happens after that? Everybody looks good. That's a prerequisite, right? You know,
Right.
um, um, what mentally are you there? But you're talking about physical. The physical, that's very, very easy. The mental aspect is the hard aspect. Everybody looks good. Everybody's fine. Everybody's sexy. You know, yeah, she has a good job. He has a good job. You spending all this money on, like you said, this fairy tale. Me, I'd rather spend the money on a trip. You know, so
Right.
um, let's do something on the trip. But I'm with you, and that's why I tell everybody, man, marriage is work. You said it's a job, same thing. Marriage is work. You have to work at it, and if one person is working at it and the other one isn't, it's never going to work.
It's never gonna work. It never. And also big shout out to Miss Brand on the Instagram. She said once trust is broken, it can never be the same again, just like a broken glass.
Absolutely,
You can
absolutely,
try to you can try to glue it together, but it will never be the same. It won't be able to hold the same liquid the same way again.
absolutely, absolutely. She is absolutely right.
Yeah, that's what you said. But going back, I just don't base it off emotions. I did that in my younger days. I didn't know no better. I'm looking at the logic of things now. I'm looking at the mature way of things now. I'm like how Paul said, because Paul said, when I became a man, I put away childish things. It's like,
Mhm.
do you line up with my purpose? Do you line up with my vision? If you don't line up with my purpose, you don't line up with my vision, I'm not finna be with you. I'm not finna leg with you. I don't care how fine you is. I'm all about
Right.
purpose driven. I'm all
Mhm.
about purpose driven, not flesh driven. That's what people think. They think they comment. And I'm just gonna keep but we have to stop basing our emotion off our penis, fellas. And that's why I want to say we
Yeah.
base it off our penis because you get hard. And I remember my dad used to say that all the time. He said, "You understand your pig get hard," but he basically saying, "Son, be careful out there. Be careful who
Hmm.
you lay with, because that person you lay with can destroy you in the long
Yeah.
run." Because we don't look at the character. And I understand that. My mom would just be on that as well. Be careful who you lay with. Be careful who you bond with. That's something we all learning, man. Because at the end of the day, it only takes one bad decision to destroy your kingdom and your
Yep.
empire. So we see it all the time on social media, from athletes to entertainers, you name it. You put in all that work just for one person to come and destroy what you built. Hell
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, my prime example is Dak Prescott and his ex fiance. You know, he called off the wedding because she didn't want to sign a prenup. But now all of a sudden she's trying to name bash him through the media. Oh, he wasn't a good person. He wasn't a good man, and he was cheating, infidelity going on. I can't believe that about Dak Prescott. I know Dak Prescott personally, and I mean, just the person he is. He's not my best friend. I just know him. But
Right.
just looking at him through the media, all the stuff that he went through, with his parents and then his brother passed. I refuse. I refuse to believe that type of person he is. But that happens. It happens, man. So you have to be mindful of the person that you are with. And like you said, you can't use emotion all the time. all the time. You have to have some type of logic in there, you know.
Yeah, because you look at you working your butt off to make something. You working your butt off to provide for your legacy. That's what I want to say. And you refuse to let any one person to come in and destroy what you built. And I understand people would say things, same thing with Megan Thee Stallion. She went on Instagram by Clay Thompson. Clay didn't respond at all. And she was like, yeah, I was with you. I deal with your emotions and all this stuff in the basketball season. Well, she didn't have to post that, but she
No.
did. But at the
Hmm.
end of the day, oh God, these people are not married. You're still single. You're not married.
Yeah.
And go ahead.
No. You good. You good. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm gonna say technically you're single. You're not married, but it didn't work out. But don't bash somebody because it didn't work out. And I agree. I mean, if you really cared about him, you would have signed the prenup, right?
Right. And that's the thing. You know, he came out and said that her lifestyle was $700,000 a month. You
Oh
know,
wow,
yeah. I mean, it was either between 500 or 700,000, and you know,
that's too much.
he was being a mature man by not responding to her. You know, because we don't know what was going on behind closed doors. You know,
I agree.
the problem with that is the way she betrayed herself when she first came out. Okay. She portrayed herself in a negative light. So if you're saying he did all of this infidelity and all that, if you portray yourself that way and somebody treats you that way, why get mad?
Yeah, you're right. It really sums it up. At the end of the day, he has to be about his business. And he can't play football forever, right? He has a life outside football. Because I know Dak in his 30s now. So he's thinking about long
Right.
term. Like once I retire, I gotta think about life after football. I gotta think about my investments and stuff like that, stuff I have to live on for the rest of my life, especially with his kids.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
she should be more mature enough to think like that. Hey, yeah, we gotta protect ourselves, we gotta protect our legacy and our family because we've been so drawn to social media. You know how much people be broke? They put themselves in so much massive debt.
Yeah.
For what? Just to impress people who don't even care about us.
Yeah. Absolutely.
We want to impress people who don't even care about us. At the end of the day, you gotta protect your investment and you gotta protect yourself and live for you and what they say, if your feelings, right? If your feelings. So
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree with that. So my next question for you is I know you have the book, you got the trilogy coming out. So are you just getting started or are you leveling up again?
Oh man, I'm just getting started, but I'm also leveling up. Um, I'm just getting started in the book world, but I'm leveling up on everything else I want to do. Um, like I said, I'm a big stickler for mental health in men. I'm a big stickler for helping the homeless, the youth, especially the youth. Um, because this new generation, they're lost.
Yeah.
I'm over 50 years old, and I'm pretty sure you can attest to this. When we were growing up, man, we go outside, we make up games.
Yeah, yeah.
Everything, we didn't have no technology like they have now.
Hmm.
It's a lot easier to get sidetracked on what you're supposed to do. Even in schools, they don't have textbooks anymore. They don't have worksheets. They don't have nothing like that. So it's easy to get sidetracked on what you're supposed to do or what you deem is important because everything is at the touch of a button. And that's one reason why my book is a short story, because attention spans are not there anymore. They have short attention spans, right?
Hmm.
So, and that's why I want every book that I write to be a short story, to keep your attention, to keep you right there, and take you a day, maybe two, depending on what type of reader you are, to read my book. Man, my books are not going to be more than 200 pages.
Okay, okay, that was up. Hey, I applaud you, God. I applaud the work that you're doing. I know it's gonna be a number one New York Times bestseller list, of course. I know you're doing great things here in DFW, of course, and I applaud you. I don't say flowers. That's for the ladies. We men.
Yeah,
So
thank you.
I'm giving you your cigars. So
I, I
I'm
don't
giving you your cigar.
I don't smoke, but I take it.
Right. Yeah, that the cigar is a sign of a compliment. So I give you your
Yeah,
cigars and stuff like that because bosses do
yeah,
cigars. But anyway,
right.
we got that time now, so we about to get ready to depart. Go ahead, plug up Rackstraw, plug in all that you got going on. What can we expect? What to look out for? When the next appearance coming up? Hey, the mic is yours.
Man, we got I got June coming up. We got a huge book signing with my man Michael Rain. He's an author. He's a pretty has a pretty big following out here in Fort Worth. We also have we also have about four huge events coming up between July and September. We got Globe Life Field coming up. We got Texas Live coming up. On the 22nd, I'm going to be at the Arlington Music Hall on the 22nd of this month with the Sounds of Motown. I think is what it's called. Sounds of Motown. I'm gonna be up there with them. Um, man, as far as appearances, I'm everywhere. I'm not hard to find. If you know where to look, I'm everywhere, and I'm always talking to people. I'm always trying to, get ourselves together. If you understand what I'm saying, get us together and get us to network with each other, get us to help each other out because it's too many of us that are jealous. We have egos, and we just need to get that out of the way. We're all trying to, we're all here for a common goal, and it's enough. It's enough to go around, So you don't have to hold your information or hold your connections or whatever. It's enough to go around. And before I go, I want to give a shout out. Give a shout out to my mom. I give a shout out to Alton, Kiana, Chiita, Shanae, everybody that I forgot last time, and I'm probably going to forget some people this time. Pastor Tila, Pastor Crane, uh, Mama Crane, everybody at the churches, True Vine, Harvey Avenue, everybody that's been helping me out, Doctor Darren Brock, everybody, Gwen Miles, all these people, man, they have been made an impact on me and are very, very influential in what I do, who I am as a person, and the way I walk through life.
Man, that's what's up, man. I applaud you staying productive, staying consistent with what you do, and I respect you. Once again, I do give you a cigar. We're about to get ready to depart. I will be back this Saturday. This Saturday, my guest will be Jackie Ashford Ball out of Houston, Texas. It's called Extraordinary by Design. She's in the financial industry. She's gonna be on this coming Saturday on the Walking This Ways platforms. Y'all make sure y'all tune in for that. That's gonna be this Saturday at 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern. I will be live streaming on Walking This Ways podcast, which is on YouTube at Impact Boys 12. Instagram was at Junior Furman Jackson, which is me, and also be live streaming on the Walking This Ways Facebook page as well. So man, y'all tune in to that this coming Saturday. So we gonna do some great things right now. So we about to get
One
ready to
other thing,
depart.
One other thing, my man,
Go ahead.
people, y'all can go get my book, My Man, Your Woman, it's on Amazon right now. Uh, and I'll be posting my website at the end of this, so you can get it directly through me if you don't want to go through Amazon. But I appreciate you for having me on your show, my man, and I look forward to doing big things with you in the future.
Yeah, most definitely. Hey, salute to you as well. I also want to give a big shout out to the rest of know she's under the weather. Big shout out to her. That's my partner here on the JustSayN Podcast. So big shout out to her as well. Get one back 1,000%. I also give big shout out to Mrs. Jones as well for connecting us as well. So big shout out to her. I
Yeah.
want to give her flowers as well also. So we about to get ready to part. Like I said, I will be at this coming Saturday. My guest will be Jackie Ball. She's in Houston. She's in the financial industry. I love her energy. Y'all gonna meet her. I had her on the show before, and I invited her to come back on. She glad to accept the invitation. So we got a lot of big shows coming up. So man, y'all be on the lookout for these shows, these contents. I'm be eventually we doing sponsorship as well too. So you want to become a sponsor for Gateway? Hey, let's make it happen. We want to take this thing to the next level. So we looking forward to great things. So we about to get ready to part. Man, y'all have a great Wednesday. And I will see you Saturday on the Walking This Way Impact Boys podcast, brought to you by Gateway 8082 Media. Peace, everybody.
And we can just dance the night away until we get no more. Shake all the hurt.